We offer everything to a restaurant from sourcing, warehousing, distribution, cooking the food, delivering the food, and also operating call center and data analytics. Technology is probably the most important thing in what has enabled us to be successful at Kitopi.
Hey Jihad, I'm doing well. Hi everyone and welcome to the new series of Innovation Talks. Today we have the pleasure to be with Jihad Bou Nasr, the Regional Managing Director GCC for Kitopi. Kitopi is the leading cloud kitchen player in GCC. Welcome Jihad.
Thank you for having me, Giuseppe.
Can you tell us a bit more about the business model of Kitopi and what is really the secret sauce?
Yes, sure. So Kitopi is a managed cloud kitchen platform. We operate kitchens in Dubai and in the GCC. In fact, we started in Dubai and expanded across the GCC in a matter of 3 years. And today we operate kitchens and cook on behalf of restaurants and deliver food to their customers. So essentially, we're seen as a service provider and an enabler to restaurants who now can scale more efficiently and in a cost-effective manner because you don't have to worry about capital expenditures and building a team to scale to multiple locations. And in fact, we have moved from an enabler of restaurants to an enabler of the ecosystem at large. If you think about the food and beverage delivery sector, it's actually surprisingly an unprofitable one. Why is that the case? Because the customer expects to pay the same amount that he or she pays in a restaurant at home, but now the restaurant has to pay anywhere from 25 to 35% delivery fee to aggregators. And so we came and supported restaurants by reducing their costs, aggregating their labor, their rent, and operating at a more cost-effective manner. And now we have grown to be an enabler of the ecosystem at large, not just restaurants.
Jihad, speaking about the business models, what is the view on Kitopi role in the overall value chain, and what are also the partnerships that you're looking for?
Yeah, so we at Kitopi cover the full end-to-end spectrum of food delivery, which means we offer everything to a restaurant from sourcing, warehousing, distribution, cooking the food, delivering the food, and also operating call center, and as I mentioned, data analytics. And so by covering the full end-to-end, we already are a strong enabler of the ecosystem and can allow our restaurants to focus on what they do best, which is marketing and product development, and we take care of all the rest. And we're continuing to invest in all aspects of the value chain so that we are seen as a strong enabler, not just to restaurants, but all the different elements of the ecosystem. And going forward, it also empowers us to be seen as partners to not just restaurants, but also customers who want to demand different services and products, to aggregators who want to consolidate demand in a certain zone, and suppliers who want to make sure that they have advanced orders on products. And so by capturing the full end-to-end aspect of the ecosystem, we become a stronger partner to all elements of the ecosystem.
And how scalable is this business model in GCC? I also heard you are planning to expand in Southeast Asia. So how is the model going to work?
Yes, correct. So in the GCC already, food delivery is at an all-time high and has been growing over the last 3 years. In fact, the food delivery business has grown 30% year on year over the last 3 years, and we project it to continue growing over the next 3 years. Why is that? It's because customers and people in the UAE, they demand convenience. They're all connected, they're all foodies in nature, and we see that especially in Saudi and in Kuwait and in the UAE. And so, since the food delivery business is growing, we as an enabler of the ecosystem are growing with that business as well. And going forward, yes, East Asia is an opportunistic market for us. Why? Because similarly, everybody's connected. There's a lot of demand for food delivery. A lot of large aggregators like Food Panda and others have been there for more than a decade. And so we're going to start expanding to different clusters in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Thailand, and growing towards East Asia. And eventually, inshallah, more towards the Western Hemisphere and South America.
That's great to hear. Let's talk a little bit more about the customers. What have you observed in terms of customer behaviors pre, during, and post-pandemic?
So that's a good question, and we've monitored that very closely at Kitopi, and in fact tried to pivot and also support customer behavior and customer needs throughout that journey. So starting before the pandemic, already food delivery was a growing business. As I mentioned, it was growing 30% year on year. And so cloud kitchens and delivery food companies were already seeing success before the pandemic. Now, when COVID hit, obviously a lot of customers became apprehensive about ordering food from restaurants because they were worried. They didn't have a lot of information to show them that actually it is safe. And so in the first few weeks, we did see deliveries go down, and we had to pivot. And by pivoting, we had to teach customers and inform them of how safe our kitchens are. So even before the pandemic, we were implementing a lot of technology in our kitchens to ensure the highest safety and specs and food quality. During the pandemic, we started seeing shifting consumer behaviors who were apprehensive of food delivery and wanted to order groceries because they thought cooking at home is the safer method. And so we also pivoted and launched our own grocery app in a matter of a few weeks from our homes because we are also kind of stuck at home. And so we launched our grocery platform and started kind of tailoring towards what the customer wanted. And then after a few months, there was some customer fatigue of cooking food at home. The countries were opening up and we saw regulations being more relaxed, and we continued to see the growth that we were seeing pre-pandemic. And now actually growth has become much faster. Why? Because customers got used to sitting at home, even working from home, and so wanting to order food more often than they used to in the past. And what we believe COVID essentially did is leapfrogged the adoption of food delivery by customers who might have not ordered food delivery before.
And let's talk a bit about the technology. Clearly is a key enabler for you to ensure quality, accuracy, speed. What is really the secret behind your technology? Do you have any in-house proprietary technology?
For sure. So technology is probably the most important thing in what has enabled us to be successful at Kitopi. Why? Because without technology, we're just operating kitchens and operating at the same inefficiencies that the industry today is at. And so what technology has allowed us to do is overcome those inefficiencies. And inefficiencies in the restaurant business are typically speed of delivery, cost, and quality. And so what we've done is invest a lot in our technology and built our own proprietary operating system called Smart Kitchen Operating System, or SCOS for short, which is essentially an in-house built suite of applications that is focused entirely on operating cloud kitchens, which is one of the first in the region. It did not exist before. And so we had to build our own operating system to manage our kitchens. And we've continued to invest over and over, not just in our operating system, but in IoT, in robotics, in automation, in RPA, and other avenues of technologies to enable us to continue serving the customer better quality, better accuracy, better speed.
Looks like Kitopi is the perfect example of Bionic company. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, so we integrate technology in all aspects of our business, but there's actually three things we focus on that enable us to be, as you said, Bionic. And it starts with how we operate our teams. So our teams, essentially, they focus on problems in a squad manner in sprints, which essentially means there are cross-functional individuals who work on very short timelines on a very clear objective. So enabling them to and empowering them to essentially tackle that problem from all different aspects of the business and developing solutions as they see fit. So that's number one. The other way I believe we are Bionic is through technology. So we've implemented all sorts of technologies in our kitchens, from IoT devices that allow us to scan orders before they leave the kitchen to ensure we're focusing on accuracy, to artificial intelligence when it comes to scanning every single order before it leaves our kitchens to make sure there's no missing item or the food's actually going out correct, to even robotics. Robotics not to replace people in the kitchen, rather to enable and support them. Looking at, for example, sushi rolling machines or rice cooking machines in our kitchens. And then finally, the third aspect is through data and analytics, which we believe is core to our business. And essentially, by investing in data analytics, we are able to come up with solutions and also products that customers want, like having, for example, dynamic offerings during different times of the days and launching new products based on data we've seen what customers order. But essentially, yes, technology is something we've invested a lot at Kitopi and what we believe sets us apart in this industry.
Thank you, Jihad, for this very interesting and insightful discussion, and we look forward to see you at the next Innovation Talks. Thank you.
Thank you.